Ricken Financial presents Kickin' with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement. Gerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken-Provost want to help you reach the retirement you deserve. Let's build a strategy that gives you the confidence while meeting your financial wants and needs. Meet the team at rickenfinancial.com. Now, Kickin' with the Rickens.
And I'm your co-host, Doug Turnbull. You're with Gerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken-Provost. We're ready to kick it today and talk about retirement. We have talked a lot in the past 2 episodes about having a tax-free retirement or other tax strategies, and we'll get into a little more of that today, particularly when we talk about the phase 2, if you will, of your financial planning. But Gerry and Heidi, you know we like to have a good time, and I got to hang out with you recently and have carbs at the same time, because you were here at our headquarters in Atlanta and somehow brought numerous pies for the office. Heidi, how in the world do you do that? And is this something you do for clients too?
Oh, yeah. So you mean when you fly, Doug, you don't put 15 frozen solid pies in your carrier in your checked luggage?
I generally try to go carry on only if I'm not traveling with my wife, Momo, okay?
Can I tell you, we have never felt more ridiculous. We had 2 checked bags for a one-night stay in Atlanta.
Everybody said, where are you guys going after this? We're like, home?
And the funny thing is, on the way back, there was barely enough weight. We put the bag inside the bag, and we put like our one change of clothes in there, and it was like you could throw it with like your pinky finger.
It was ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But
yeah, so every Thanksgiving, it's the time of year we give thanks for everyone, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do without our clients, obviously. So we make them a homemade salted caramel cinnamon crumb apple pie that they get to share with all of their family members on Thanksgiving, and we have a little happy hour open house style at our office where we get to hang out with them and give thanks. And, you know, we can't do what we do without the Impact Partnership either. So there are, we could fit 15 in 2 bags and we still were 4 pounds overweight, by the way. Shout out to the female at Southwest Airlines. I don't remember her name and I'm kicking myself for forgetting it. But she was like, you're 4 pounds overweight, but it's okay. Just go. Because I also had to run through the airport to make the flight. But anyway.
I remember that story, yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we can't do what we do without, all of our teammates behind the scenes at Impact. So we had to bring you guys some pies.
And before anyone asks for the recipe, that is a guarded secret. That's a Heidi Ricken-Provost original. So, and it will never be shared, except maybe to your children.
I don't have those, so I don't ever get shared.
Okay.
And y'all have some special, before we move to, because I want to get to the phase 2 of this phase 2 podcast, but y'all have like a special equipment at home to make this. You're doing bunch of these at one time.
Oh, yeah. We make about 12 pies at a time in my parents' kitchen.
It's incredible.
They have a double oven, and the way that we can situate it, there's 6 pies in the top oven and 6 pies in the bottom oven at a time. So it's when we have our event on the 25th this year, we're spending the entire weekend leading up to it, baking some pies for everyone.
That sounds fun. A little pie in the
and
oven.
Also making the appetizers and all that kind of stuff. So.
Oh, yeah. And don't worry, we used to... I don't know how my dad was capable of doing this. We used frozen butter in this, and he used to shred it by hand. So his forearms are still jacked from when he would peel potatoes, when he was peeling 100 pounds of potatoes every morning when he was working at Walt's way back in the day. But he would sit, oh my God, it was like the strongman competition watching him do that. And Steven watched it one time, my husband, and he's like, what the hell are you guys doing? There's a shredding attachment you can attach to your KitchenAid mixer that'll do this.
It changed my life. I'm weaker now. It changed my life, Doug.
Well, we had to implement something after we burned out Mom's food processor.
Yeah, I mean, it ruined one of those.
Fire and had to throw it outside while it was on fire one year. So, we've had some adventures in the kitchen together.
Oh, my gosh. Well, phase 1 was the transport and making of those pies. Phase 2 was my friends and I crushing it at a birthday party that we went to the night after getting to see you guys. So thank you so much for that. And so let's talk about the phase 2 part of life, so to speak, or in financial planning, y'all, because I know that there's so much concern with one or the other, and a lot of people forget one without the other.
Yeah, and I think, so often every single person who talks about financial planning talks about that phase 1 of your life. It's the it's time to accumulate your wealth and we got to stick it here and be aggressive or moderately aggressive.
Build that nest egg.
Build it. It's time to stick it away. And we're so ingrained in that, we forget that there are multiple phases of our financial life.
Because that's the only thing we've ever known is building assets and building assets and building assets for our retirement future. Mm-hmm. But we don't realize what happens in this next phase of your life.
Well, even before that, when you're in that building, how many of your wealth advisors are asking you about the taxation? How many of them are coming in and saying, you shouldn't be putting 100% in your traditional 401k when you have a Roth option at work because you're going to pay less in tax in the future in that Roth? No one talks about taxes because you open up the statement from that wealth planner, your financial planner who's wealth focused, and it actually says in legal writing on that statement, talk to a tax professional because we can't give you any tax advice of any kind.
That's right. That's right. But at Ricken Financial, we do and we can, and we do all the time. We share ideas with our clients. We share tax strategies, whether you're in that accumulation phase or as approaching retirement and in the retirement phase of your life.
Yeah. So every step of the way, we put that tax lens on first because we don't, we do what's in the best interest of you financially. But we don't think we can do that unless we look at what the taxation is going to be for you, not just in this year that we're talking in or the upcoming tax year. We want to look for the rest of your lives and make sure that you and your family are only paying your fair share. So that starts in that first phase of your financial life when you're working and you're, scrimping and saving and doing everything you can to set aside for the future. But it really comes into play when we get in that second phase of your financial life, when now you get to enjoy what you put away for the future.
Because when you think about taxes, everyone on April 15th, they're always prepared. They're either going to get a refund or they're going to owe. And if you owe...
Can I say a PSA real quick?
Yes.
You prepare a tax return, you receive a tax refund. If you receive money from the IRS and or the state that you're in, it is called a refund. Thank you. Continue.
Yes, because some people think, where's my return? Where's my return? We filed your return.
Yeah.
And they're speaking about a refund. So that's where
make sure all of our friends sound educated.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
It's also the misconception of how much money am I getting back from the government? It's like, well, it's money you already paid that you're getting back. Just to be clear, right?
Yes, it is. It is not government's money. It's your money. It is your money that you're owed back because you paid in too much. But when you do that, when you're working and you're paying those taxes, it's difficult enough if you look at your paycheck and you look at the paycheck between the difference between what you grossed and what you net, and a lot of that is taxation. Then on April 15th, you may have underestimated how much you were withholding and you have to pay some more. That's difficult enough when you're working. It's very, very difficult when we meet with clients in their retirement years and the paychecks stop coming in and now they're spending down their money. And if they're spending down their money out of qualified plans, IRAs and 401ks, all of that is taxable income.
All right. So somebody's listening to this and they're on the verge of phase 1 to phase 2, and whether they're intimidated by the idea of taxes or maybe they're thinking their strategy was too much phase 1 centric and they're trying to transition to retirement and the different strategies there. Heidi, they go to rickenfinancial.com. Mm-hmm. Tell them why they should and what you all do to them to help them prepare for this critical part of life.
Absolutely. So, you're on the brink of retirement or you're in retirement and you say, oh my gosh, this is so much more complicated than I ever thought because I've never retired before. I've spent 35 years accumulating my wealth, but now how do I decumulate it? What do I do with those funds in this next phase of my financial future? So I know how to spend down my money so that I'm never running out of money. I know how the taxation is going to fall into this. I have a plan for my long-term care, for life insurance if I need it, for living or death benefits, for estate planning, for basically anything that costs money or would affect your financial future. How do you come up with a plan for it? Because if you don't have a plan in place, you can't work the plan. That's when you come see someone like me, and our team at Ricken Financial. We focus on that second phase of your financial future. We want to make sure that in that retirement phase, you're protected from all of the potential risks that might be headed your way. And we look at tax first and then make sure that everything else is covered for you and that you have a plan in place that you can just simply implement to relieve some of those stressors of life. And that's really what sets us apart is it's retirement first, but before that, it's tax always.
And, we have a few objectives for people when they come to see us. And one of them is making sure that as long as you have blood pressure, you have income, because we want you to nice. We want you to have income for the rest of your life. The other thing we want you to focus on is we believe in our heart of hearts that we can get you to as close as possible as not paying tax in the future. Okay? Just listen to what I just said. Not being tax-free in your retirement years later on. You just need to come in and see us sooner rather than later so we can get you to that objective.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure that when people go to rickenfinancial.com or they dial 314-442-6476, that you're going to sit down with them and not just say, here's what every single retiree ever should do, but you're going to ask them questions that are specifically tailored both to their situation and to their needs and wants.
Absolutely. So if this sounds like you don't really have a plan in place for your future taxation. You just kind of go with the status quo. You do your tax return each year. You might ask a couple questions. And if you're working with the CPA, they might not even give you the answer because they're like, well, the easiest way is blah, blah, and they talk in circles because they don't want to give you a recommendation.
Their favorite word is no.
Absolutely. You come see us. Go to rickenfinancial.com, click on the contact us. If you're more of a Facebook person, send us a Facebook message, send me a carrier pigeon, hit me up on LinkedIn, give us a call at 314-442-6476. However you want to reach out, we're here for you. And we want to help you put a plan in place so that you can work that plan because everyone deserves to have a future plan for their taxation.
And phase 2 should really start about the 10 years before your retirement date and not on your retirement date. A lot of people say, well, I'm not ready to come and see you until next year because I'm retiring next year. Well, quite frankly, you should have seen us about 8 years ago.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
absolutely.
So if you're hearing this and think, oh, that's nowhere like this, that's my grandparents. No, you could be within the 10 years. You know what I mean? Like it's on the horizon. So start planning now. How can I, even just looking ahead, make those changes down the road? Well, Gerry and Heidi, thank you so much for spending time today. And I know that there's so much to get into in phase 2. This is just one little drip in the bucket, so to speak, of how to plan for that. And I know there's a lot to learn. So again, folks, go to rickenfinancial.com or dial 314-442-6476. Hit them up on Facebook too. And Heidi and Gerry, the team, they will make sure and get you going in the right direction, or at least start asking you the right questions there. Well, let's wrap it up the way we always do, y'all. Gerry, every day
is a holiday.
And Heidi, life is short.
Laugh hard.
Be sure to check us out on Apple, Spotify, the iHeart radio app, and the YouTube channel, too. Be sure to get on that, too, and be sure to subscribe and like and share with someone in your circle that you think may need to know about this. So we've got a lot more coming your way. We've talked a lot about taxes before. We've got some other great subjects coming up in the hopper as well. So for Gerry and Heidi, I'm Doug, and thank you so much for listening to Kicking with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Ricken Financial, LLC. Ricken Financial, LLC is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Ricken Financial, LLC are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Ricken Financial, LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Ricken Financial, LLC.
Please remember that converting an employer plan account to a Roth IRA is a taxable event. Increased taxable income from the Roth IRA conversion may have several consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA.